Hello, What Culture? My name is Simon Miller, and one of two things has happened to you in the last 24 hours. One, you did indeed watch WWE Clash of Champions and you're here for some more opinion. Or two, you didn't, and you're here to find out what the hell happened on that damn show. No matter what category you fall into though, that's what I'm here for. And obviously you're there, so you can go in the comments afterwards and go, Simon doesn't know what he's talking about. And maybe I do, but maybe I don't. But let's up some downs. We will start off with the pre-show, and let's be honest, not looking that great for Mojo Rawley right now. Not only was his match with Zack Ryder on the pre-show at Clash of Champions, but he couldn't even get any build to it on SmackDown. Not great. However, it is going to get an up, but it's only like a really slight up. It was that close to getting a down, because at least Rawley did win here. He was quite dominant, and yeah, it was a basic match. But now, if WWE do want to do something with him, you've set the foundations, you've got the template, and let's do something with him. He cut a damn good promo on social media this week, so if he can do it on the internet, why don't we let him do it on TV and see if Mojo Rawley can actually be a superstar in 2018. So let's watch this space, and let's watch as it just careers into the floor. But a quick down for that bizarre bit in the opening promo when we did just get a close-up shot of Jinder Mahal's face and he was laughing. That was really creepy. What was that in there for? Madness. And then the show did start properly and we did begin with the triple threat match for the US title. And can you believe it? It's getting an up. Now I did say on SmackDown Ups and Downs last week that this had the potential to be good in the ring. It was just the build I didn't care about because I didn't care about the build and I still didn't care about the people in the match. However, this was actually pretty decent. Maybe, just maybe, WWE can do something with it as it comes out of the flames. I mean, they won't, but they could. The most bizarre thing about all of this was that Dolph Ziggler did win the US Championship, and I'm only going to know if that's good or bad when I see SmackDown. However, before this, him, Corbin, and Bobby Roode did put together a very fast-paced and fun match. I can't really criticize this. The finish did see Ziggler hit the zigzag on Corbin and pin the former champion. There's like a whole new statement to take away from that. And yeah, just do not change it back on SmackDown WWE. I've got this awful, awful feeling they only did this because they're like, who cares about the US title? We can do whatever we want with it. And also we're doing a show called Clash of the Champions and no other championship is gonna change hands. Just use it, please. Also, I hate Dolph Ziggler's thing where his music starts, we get a record scratch, and then he comes out to darkness. I think that sucks. Anyway though, if this is meant to be a renewed push for Dolph Ziggler in 2018, please just stick with it. It's going to take some time because you've done so much start-stopping with him over the past few years. So stay the course and let's see what we can do. And next up we had a mini segment where Daniel Bryan was mad because he couldn't find a referee shirt to fit him, and Shane McMahon was there too and he was mad because he was upset with everything that Daniel Bryan had done up to this point. Apparently they hadn't texted or spoken on the phone or even written a letter. Shane McMahon had gone, I'm going to wait till Sunday and then I'll talk to Daniel Bryan, my employee, about everything he did on that big show on Tuesday. So while all of this was a little bit dumb, they did plant some seeds for what's going to happen later in the night, and I love that, so it does get an up. And they also revealed here that yes, Bryan and Shane will both be in the ring at the same time. And while that sounds like a terrible idea on paper, and kind of was a bit of a terrible idea in execution, I did like where it went, so we'll get to that in a sec. Dasher then interviewed Corbin and basically said he screws everything up and he's a giant loser. Baron got mad and he threw a bin, and yeah, this was a down. The Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match came roaring out of the fires after all of this, and it kind of went as you'd expect. The Usos won, and it was just a fun little match. I'm not going to criticize it, although other people are. I just enjoyed it for what it was, getting it up. And the highlight was, of course, that we got the 12 days of Rusev again before the match, and also the crowd loved it and joined in, and Rusev was like the most over guy on the show. That made my heart happy. And the low light was when the Usos came out and did their own version of the 12 days of Christmas, and that absolutely sucked. And while it did get a bit all over the place, because all four guys could be in the ring at the same time, but you could only tag your official tag team partner, it was alright. It was good, it was fun, and it did end when the Usos, of all things, pinned Gable, gave him a splash, and he went out. That's good. It's not good, but it is good because it means Rusev and English didn't get pinned. But yeah, it has to get an up because, like I say, Rusev, everyone loved Rusev here. It felt like a wonderful occasion, and Rusev Day feels like a real thing, and it should do because every day is Rusev Day. I tell you, maybe, just maybe, 2018 is the year of Rusev. That can be his next thing. 2017 it was Rusev Day, and 2018 is the year of Rusev, because every day is Rusev Day, and therefore the whole year would be the year of Rusev. I'm ready. We then enter super down territory because afterwards we did get the women's title lumberjack match, and well, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. at all. As ever, the real problem was that it was a lumberjack match and it was just so messy. So we thought interference after interference and there was no coherency. At one point, Carmella teased that she was going to cash in her Money in the Bank, and the Riot Squad at this point feel persona non grata. They've already fallen from grace. Charlotte did eventually win by making Natalya tap out after the figure eight, and that was good because Charlotte did overcome a lot here because she kept getting beaten up by the bad guys, but still, the women's division on SmackDown now feels really messy. We need to tidy it up. Let's get multiple programs running so I can care about it and not just some big schmoz that feels like this. This was not, well, it just was bad. It was bad. Let's just say it. Let's call a spade a spade. That's a spade. That was bad. In this case, the spade's over there, and this women's match is over there. Then Natalya did a post-match interview where she was all sad because she lost, and that was a down. And then we got another backstage interview where it was meant to be with Jinder Mahal, but instead the Singh Brothers came out, and that was a down too. Both were just rubbish. Right, who had less than 2 minutes on last week's SmackDown's ups and downs? Why? Because on that show I did ask for predictions about how long Breezango would last against the Bludgeon Brothers, and the answer was 1 minute 57. So yeah, if you did pick under 2 minutes, which was one of the choices, you won. You don't win anything aside from my everlasting love. This, however, is still getting an up. Now the main reason for this is simple, as I always say. I love the Bludgeon Brothers, I love Harper and Rowan, and it was good for them to get a win over a somewhat established team. That just helps with their build, and eventually they'll build tag team champions, and I hope they're tag team champions for 742 years. I do worry for Tyler Breeze and Fandango though. I don't mean that in a serious way. I mean that in a I'd like to see them on my TV more way, and after this, well, I don't see that happening. And I feel like I need to make that clarification because it turns out sometimes I say things about wrestlers and the said wrestlers actually get upset about it or at least respond on social media. I'm not saying you're not successful. If you're in WWE, you're clearly very successful within this little pocket that I'm talking about. I just mean I'd like to see you on more on Raw, or more on SmackDown, and more on pay-per-views, and after this, I worry you may vanish from that. That's it. We'll see what happens. And then it was a quick Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn promo, and it was awesome, because of course it was awesome. It gets an up, and here they highlight how important their match was later, but also how important Daniel Bryan could be. And the match between them and Randy Orton Nakamura was an up too, especially the finish, because it was all wild and crazy, even if it didn't go quite how I expected it to. As you can imagine, the story here was Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan trying to coexist as co-referees, and they couldn't do it because they kept going for pinfalls on the same guy and their pins were out of sync. So they were like, this is nuts, this isn't working, because of course it was never going to work. Now, while that did upend the match a little bit, that was the point, that was the story. That's why I quite liked it. It felt fresh, this. Eventually, it was decided that Shane McMahon would take care of the left side of the ring and Daniel Bryan would take care of the right side of the ring. And the match kind of settled down and we just got some wrestling for a while. There was more dissension later on though when Owens and Zayn went outside and wanted to slam Shinsuke Nakamura through a table, and obviously Shane McMahon was like, no, I want those two dudes fired. But Daniel Bryan was like, no Shane, we must let the match go. The match must be fair. He didn't do this dance. That's a dance sometimes I just do for no apparent reason. Anyway, Kevin Owens did do a big splash through the table onto Nakamura. It was cool, but the match did go on. The key turn came when it did seem like Orton had the match won after he RKO'd Sami Zayn. And as Shane McMahon was making the count, Kevin Owens nipped into the ring. He barged into Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan collapsed onto Shane McMahon. That broke up the 3 count, and as you can imagine, Shane McMahon was not pleased. But then it got even more out of control when then Sami Zayn had the match won. Shane McMahon went to give a 3 count, and he just stopped at 2. The crowd hated it, and I tell you who hated it even more, Daniel Bryan, he was livid. The finish? Well, Randy Orton went for another RKO on Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn reversed that into a roll-up, and who did a fast count? And not only did he do a fast count, but it was on Shane's side of the ring. You guessed it, Repo Man. No, obviously it wasn't Repo Man, it was Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan did the fast count, but now we need to figure out why. Did he do it to get back at Shane McMahon because he was angry with him, or did he do it because secretly he's been in cahoots with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn the whole time? Also, Randy Orton was pissed. Now, on one level, I would have liked to have a more definitive storyline resolution here, or at least a twist or a turn, but it still has momentum, and I still do want to tune into SmackDown to see what's next. So all of this worked. I was actually very entertained by it. That's why it gets an up. And then we got Jinder Mahal versus AJ Styles. Now, it was nice because it was in the main event spot, and I believe the WWE title should always have that spot, but unfortunately, it is getting it down. To be honest, this just felt like a match you could see on SmackDown each and every week, and when I tune into a pay-per-view, I want my big bounce to feel like big bounce, and this just didn't. Don't get me wrong. AJ Styles, as always, was amazing here and continues to be the MVP of the entire company, but it's Jinder Mahal. He tries his best but he doesn't have the atmosphere of a big-time player. That's how the crowd react to him, and as such, the atmosphere from the fight is just sucked away. To me, this does feel like the end of the Jinder experiment as we do get to the end of 2017, and I could be wrong, but that's the impression that I got, and where he ends up in the card is going to be interesting, but more excitingly, what's next for AJ Styles, because let's face it, he's the man. I like to see him with that belt, and I'm glad that he retained here, which he did. Can't remember if I said that now. AJ Styles retained, happy days. And that was Clash of Champions, and yeah, it was a bit lackluster, and to be honest, without the Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon stuff, there wasn't much here. However, we had that stuff, and it is the best storyline in WWE right now. That's why overall I quite liked it, because I love this story. If WWE does pay this off on SmackDown and into 2018 it ends up with some kind of big match, then I look back on this event and I like it even more. But yeah, admittedly, a lot of it was a bit pants. However, Rusev Day. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about Clash of Champions, and you like the video, that's the thumb. You share the video, you can do it on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, or whatever. You leave a comment below, that's the box below the video where you go, I don't agree with any of this, and then make sure you subscribe, and you do that by hitting the subscribe button. Then go and follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. Visit WhatCulture.com to read articles about Clash of Champions and the upcoming week in wrestling, and more important than all of that, make sure you have yourself a lovely little day. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you for watching me today, and as we do get to the end of the year, thank you for all your support in 2017. I hope it continues in 2018. Salute.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.